have a panel discussion, which is also known as a conclave. And the topic for today is the future we deserve. So children today carry a lot of threats. Well, one being the education system, the other is non-education of the future we're likely to have. So today, as part of the Q Drive, I've started to get more and more curious on what kind of future we're likely to have. Will we be given the chance to live and see a future we deserve? To get these answers and so much more, I appreciate you all for being here to answer these questions and many more. So, Satish sir, first off to you. You've taken me around the entire composting plant. The leachate alone that's going into the Earth's surface is a gigantic threat. Would you think that there are lots of other ways to manage our wet waste in a larger scale? What are some better ways to manage this wet waste?
Hi Siyona. It's a pleasant morning. It's a pleasant morning here, and the aircrafts around the world globe are running around and seeing the Q Drive. And it's a adoring and commendable job you people are doing. It fits the future of our country and our globe, doing the best of the job. And coming to my subject, leachate and the solid waste management. First of all, leachate is the liquid which comes out of the wet waste once it starts decomposing. Do you know what amount of wet waste we generate in our city? It's 2,500 tons per day of the wet waste we generate or produce from our doorsteps.
That is a lot of wet waste. I think Bangaloreans should really consider cutting down on the wet waste.
I would be using the same platform to at least request the residents of the Bangalore to cut down the production of the wet waste or the waste and try to recycle whatever we produce or we purchase, we sell, whatever it is, we should reuse and recycle the thing. And coming back to the leachate, of course, when it is left inside or on the ground, it percolates inside and it may enter the groundwater table also. It's harmful, I agree. We get at least 25,000 liters per plant of the 7 plants what we have in and around Bangalore.
That's a lot.
We are trying to treat the leachate at private and government organizations like BWSSP and private organizations. We spend around 3 rupees per liter to treat our leachate. Now, not able to bear the cost of the treatment, we try to reuse the leachate in a proper manner. Of late, we have consulted IIHR, Indian Institute of Horticulture Research, to do a study on the leachate. We have got the report that it can be used by diluting it by 1:8 proportion and use it for the farms and get a good result. This is a new development in our solid waste management and the leachate. We are trying to brand it in our company or government organization and give it to our farmers initially at a free of cost. And the best part of the solid waste management is we are reusing the wet waste what is generated or produced in our city or in the rural areas and try to decompose it into the compost, good organic compost, and give it to the farmers at a very meager cost. We distribute the compost at rupees 200 per ton, and they'll have to take it from our plants, but that's a great development or social service to the farmers from our government. The farmers should also use the program what is initiated by the government and try to avoid chemical fertilizers as much as possible. As you know, chemical fertilizers, the more and more you use the chemical fertilizers, the fertility of the soil is diminishing or reducing day by day. So we have to go into the organic fertilizer, though we cannot convert the whole fertility of the soil into a good this thing, but we, at the end of the day or 4 to 5 years from now, we'll be trying to reduce the usage of chemical fertilizers and try to use the organic fertilizers. This is the latest program by our government, and we have to inform our farmers or the residents of Bangalore to segregate the wet waste in a proper manner so that we can decompose, we can process the wet waste and send it across to the farmers of the nation or the state and recycle the wet waste what is generated by the city.
Okay, so all of the Bangaloreans watching today, I hope all of you are Bangaloreans, please remember to treat your wet waste, like make sure that you are not wasting food, because I'm pretty sure that's where most of the wet waste is coming from, right? Wasted food.
Yeah, we keep plethora of food items at our functions, knowing that we consume only 30 to 40% of the food items what we cater to the guests of the for the function, and 70% goes waste, and these waste burden the government for processing. And I request the citizens of Bangalore to listen. Whatever the food items served should be consumed in the full extent, or lessen the items so that they are consumed fully.
Yes, I would definitely agree. But about you saying that the leachate, if diluted in a 1:8 proportion, it could be used to get a wonderful result from the farms. But at the same time, leachate is harmful to the planet. So would that cause any sort of damage to the soil, even though it's diluted?
I mentioned in the beginning that leachate in the concentrated stage, if it is left on the ground, is definitely harmful. When it is diluted, that's from the research report what we have got from the IHR. If it is diluted for the extent of 1:8 or 1:10, it's useful to the plants, not for the consumption. So that's a better usage of the leachate instead of treating it at the private or government organizations.
Yes, totally. So, yeah. So, Dr. Hari, in my podcast, you have spoken largely about the detrimental health effects of pollution on children, and particularly